Hello everyone, Sunsen.2, welcome to another install tutorial, this time on Fabric, and specifically doing it for 1.16.5, though this shouldn't matter for any version you use, as installing the loader works for any version regardless. Now installing this way will apply to any version, modding for Fabric, or even in case of, say, my Forge tutorials. They're all going to be the same, nothing's changed in years, so if you do this for 1.14 snapshots, 1.14, 1.15, such and such, or 1.17, it'll be basically the exact same. Now, obviously, what you want to do is go to this website here, which is fabricmc.net/use, and you can find installers. I personally recommend the jar one. The exe one can be a bit funky sometimes, so you can if you want to, but I personally recommend the jar one just in case. That, and for also because you don't want to apply Java probably anyways to other stuff, which I might actually show in this tutorial because I usually don't, and it is a very important thing, and I'll do that now. So what you want to consider is obviously just going to say here, and you want to use a Java version. Now the reason you want to do this is so that you have it where while Minecraft has its own, it doesn't apply to mods as much. So many times when you download a mod, for example Blockers, if I wanted to, it'll probably download a certain file and it'll be like, oh, you can open it with your web browser. And it's like, that's not what you want. You want it to read them as jar files. So just go with whichever one suits your operating system. I personally just go with the offline 64-bit personally, but if you have a different one, then go for that. Or if you know you have a 32-bit machine, go with this one. If you don't know the difference, just go with the offline one, not the other one, just in case, because that'll apply to both. So yeah, so definitely download this, follow the steps of that after you've double-clicked it, and you'll be good to go. So this will be linked in the description. From there, obviously, after you've done that, download this, and I'll save that. I've already got one. So I'm going to go to Downloads, and as you can see, you double-click this here. Then wait for it to load, appear, there we go. So now you can see that there is the Minecraft version, so you can select whichever you want. Obviously, like I said, you can select 1.14 versions, 1.15, 1.16, and so on. If you want to access snapshots from any version, either the 1.17s, or the 1.16s, 1.14s, 1.15s, as far as that, then you can. Or there's also Combat Snapshots, but not many mods support that. I think only CraftPresence is about the only one that does. But if you want to try it out on that, then you can. Obviously, we're going with 1.16.5 for this. Loader version, latest works for any of them, so it doesn't really matter. But if you wanted to select one for whatever specific reason, then you can. The location where it's installed, obviously where you've installed Minecraft, and where the versions folder ends up. So mine's all in the default. It's not split up between the usual and documents or something. It's all in one place, so that's fine for me. Obviously, you can create a new profile or not. Obviously, I've already got one, so I don't need to worry. And then you can select to install it from there, and then it'll do its thing. And if you want to set up with a server, you can. I'm not going to cover that in this video, unfortunately. So, yeah, because servers are not my expertise. So, now that you've done that, it should appear with a profile in your launcher. So, if it doesn't, you can create a new one and select from the list. So, just say Fabric 1.16.5. And then you should see whichever loader version you selected, specifically for around the version number. So if I wanted, say, my 1.17 versions, they appeared around about that era, and so on, as you can see here. You can see there's a 1.8.9.1, this is a completely different thing that I have under Legacy Fabric, so that's a completely different tutorial. If you want to have Fabric Legacy mods, not Fabric mods that work on 1.8.9, but only specifically for Legacy Fabric, then I have a tutorial covering that, and many of the mods that support that, so yeah. Obviously, the mods work on strict versions, so yeah. But yeah, now that I've got that, I can just hit play, and while I've already got some mods installed, I'm just going to show the other stuff that's kind of necessary. Since obviously at this stage you might not have added your mods at this point. So I'm just going to load the game because there's sort of a method I like to use for anyone who doesn't all have Windows and can access the folders that way. And I don't know where Max or Linux's sort of installation of Minecraft is, so just for the sake of showing one that's for all, it's accessible. It's not the best, but it's still pretty simple and easy to navigate. So obviously you're on the thingo. I'm just checking if I did do that. Cool. And as you can see, you want to go to options after you're on the title screen, go to resource packs, and then select this button here, which will open that folder. So if I go to here, you can see this is where I'll end up. Obviously I've got some stuff in here, but then you'll want to go from here all the way up one. And as you can see, I've got a mods folder. If you don't have one, just create a new one, and then just call it mods like that. I don't need this, so I'm just going to delete it, but you don't have one, create one. Fabric, I'm pretty sure creates its own. I know Forge does, but I've had Forge installed before adding Fabric, so it's usually just always been there. But if you don't have one created by either, then just create it, and then you're good to go. From there, you want to put your mods in here. So, obviously, you'll need Fabric API for pretty much 99% of mods. Some only use the loader, which is obviously part of the installation. But pretty much just have this in the folder at all times. So you know that many mods are obviously going to work, whether it's for Optifine and OptiFabric, or it's for Ruffle Enough Items, or whatever sort of mods you use. You want to obviously have a recipe viewing mod. You've got access to Ruffle Enough Items. If you want to know what specifically works for, what is required for it, you want to select the thing here, or just go to Files and select More. Versions, if you want to. So if you want older ones, you want to view specific stuff. Just wait for this. You can select older versions if you want a 1.6.1 version, or whatever else. You can do that. I've already got the one that I need. But just select the version here, or on the latest ones on the side, and you can see that we need cloth config API. So you'll pretty much need APIs or like libraries for specific things, just because there's certain code that just allows certain things to run, and other developers can share the code if they need to, or use it for their own mods. So that's pretty much why these exist. They can be a bit awkward, but Fabric doesn't have many, so it's only just every so often you need one of these. So don't forget to download that, as REI needs it now. There was a period where it didn't, but it seems it needs it again. So that'll be this one here. And then you can just obviously download that. Mod menu is pretty much an easy way to view mods. So if you could tell with the thank you resource packs, I haven't loaded anything. Oops. Come on. There we go. You can see it adds this mods button here. And you can view whichever mods you've got installed. I've got these ones installed currently, as well as the following itself. So there's that. And then obviously Blockus is a mod that just adds a bunch of blocks that we use to test, to show, hey, these actually loaded correctly, so that's fine. So once you're obviously in your resource packs folder, then go up to .minecraft, and then put your mods in. As you can see, I've done that here. You pretty much just reload the game. So if you only just installed Fabric, let it do its thing of installing Fabric, or setting up Fabric, and installing a 1.16.5 version, if you don't have one already, or it's doing its Fabric version of it. And then let it do its thing, gets to the title screen, then do the resource packs part. Then after you've done that, quit. And then obviously you are done with this, and you just want to load up the version again, and then it'll load with the mods installed. So, yeah, I probably should have done it without, so you can tell, but either way, I just wanted to have a existing one working, just to see if I actually did things correctly myself, because I wasn't sure if it was a enough items or config sort of situation, but it seems it's fine. So I'll just reload this, and it should be good to go. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Now you can start using mods. You obviously just quit game, and then add more mods, see what happens, see if it crashes, and so on, and then you can just keep doing that over and over. But, yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll now check inside the world here. I think that was a test for something else, can't remember what. So I don't need you anymore. And I don't need you anymore. And we can just wait until the world loads, and we can see Blockus's contents, as well as Ruffle Enough Items working. And we can also access mod menu inside the world as well, if we want. whatever reasons. Cool. So we have roughly enough items on here. And cheat in some blocks if I want. Need to do that. I want to set that to give personally, because it's prefer I prefer to use it. So we can cheat in some crying obsidian. And I can cheat in some crimson stems and so on if I want. And that's fine. View my recipes and I'm good to go. So I know that Blockers is installed. I know Raffle enough items is installed. Mod menu is also installed. I can access its stuff. And I'm good to go. So yeah, that is this tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, and goodbye. I have other ones covering other different things, like I said, with Legacy Fabric and certain other stuff, especially for like mod packs and Curse Forge and other launches. So yeah, if you want to find out those, I'll put links to those in the description, depending on sort of what way you want to go about it. Or just put a comment, and I'll try and direct you to ones I have covering other launches and mod pack creation. Thanks so much for watching though, and goodbye.